In this presentation, I will be explaining the details of the study, time course of molecular profile changes after a 7x200 meter high-intensity swimming session, so you know exactly what is required should you choose to participate in this research. So why are we doing this research? Despite the success of Australian swimmers, athlete health and performance monitoring in swimming is pretty basic. We currently use simple tools to monitor athlete performance such as blood lactate monitors, heart rate monitors, and lap times. To ensure Australian athletes stay on top in the pool, we need to better understand how to tailor swimming training to suit an athlete's unique physiology. So, can we provide better information to coaches and sports scientists to help them tailor training so the athletes can swim faster? We believe this research can help us do just that. We all know that exercise, diet, and lifestyle can influence our metabolism. Each person's metabolism responds uniquely to exercise, which is tied to their metabolic fingerprint. By measuring an athlete's metabolic fingerprint in response to exercise, we can understand how their metabolism uniquely reacts to their training regimen. We can then understand how to manipulate their training and diet to suit their unique physiology to enhance health and performance. We can measure an athlete's metabolic fingerprint by collecting a small blood sample from their finger. While blood lactate monitoring is commonly used in swimming, it only provides information about one metabolite, lactate, and doesn't offer a comprehensive view of an athlete's response to training. In contrast, a new blood analysis method can provide information about many metabolic pathways from a similarly small blood sample. This approach may give us a more complete picture of an athlete's response to training and their dietary needs. Over the next 10 years, in collaboration with the AIS and VIS, we will conduct research to develop metabolic fingerprinting in athletes, and we need your help to achieve this. In this study, we aim to understand how an athlete's metabolism responds to a standardized swimming session, specifically a 7x200 meter step test. We also want to examine the variation in metabolic response among a group of swimmers. To achieve this, we will collect blood from your fingertip before, immediately after, 8 hours after, and 22 hours after 2 7x200 meter step tests. Additionally, we'll collect blood at the same time points on a rest day to compare the differences between exercise and resting conditions. You will also be asked to follow a standardized diet tailored to your needs to control the influence of diet on your metabolism. This dietary standardization will be managed by the VIS dietitian Louise Cato. Now, I will explain the blood collection protocol so you're aware of the process. All blood will be collected from your fingertip by a trained sports scientist. We'll only be collecting about half a milliliter of blood at each of the specified time points. Before sampling your blood, you'll warm your hand in a bucket of warm water for about 5 minutes to promote blood flow to the area. The amount of blood we collect, 0.5 mils, is quite small. For comparison, a blood lactate sample requires about 0.02 milliliters of blood, while a standard venous blood test at a doctor's office requires about 4 milliliters. In this study, we will only collect a total of approximately 6 milliliters of blood across all sample time points. To collect the blood, we'll prick your finger with a spring-loaded lancet, then collect the blood into a mini collection tube, which is the one with the green lid on the slide. We'll then spin the blood down to separate it into two parts, the blood plasma, which is the watery part, and the red blood cells. For our analysis to determine your metabolic fingerprint, we'll be focusing on the blood plasma. If you wish to participate in the study, you will be asked to complete the following steps. First, you need to complete a health screening protocol and a low energy availability questionnaire. These are both done online through a system called REDCap, and the links will be provided in the consent form. Next, you'll need to have an interview with the sports dietitian Louise Cato, so she can create a standardized diet for you during the project. We also need to monitor and record daily perceived wellness for all participants and determine what phase of the menstrual cycle female athletes are in during the testing period. Finally, you'll need to perform 2 7 by 200 meter step tests and provide a sample before exercise, 1 immediately after exercise, 8 hours after exercise, and 22 hours after exercise for each test, as well as after the rest protocol. For any research study, it is always important to conduct a health screening protocol, and this will be done online. The purpose of this health screening protocol is to identify any potential health risks you might have and determine your COVID-19 vaccination and infection history. This is because COVID-19 can affect some of our blood markers. This screening is not for surveillance purposes, but to ensure accurate results. We also need to know about any medication or supplements you're currently taking. Female athletes should detail the type and brand of hormonal contraception they are using, if known. Additionally, we want to understand your menstrual cycle history and assess the risk of low energy availability, as these factors can influence our measurements. The purpose of these questionnaires is to determine your risk of low energy availability, which occurs when you are not consuming enough energy for the exercise you are doing. Female participants will complete the low energy availability questionnaire for females, and male participants will complete the version for males. There is also a dietary questionnaire to complete, part of which is done online, to help our dietitians standardize your diet. Following this, you will also need to book a 30-minute diet interview with Louise Cato to ensure the diet is correctly standardized. This can be arranged via email, and if you're under the age of 18 years, a parent will also need to attend. What we mean by standardized diet is that all research participants will consume the same diet proportionate to their weight. We need information about your diet history, typical diet, eating habits or patterns, and any intolerance such as gluten or lactate intolerance that you may have. This information helps our dietitian prepare and control your diet throughout the study. It is crucial to be honest about the foods you do and don't like to ensure you can adhere to the standardized diet. These standardized diets will be followed for one 24-hour period, so from Friday night to Saturday night, and for one 48-hour period, from Friday night to Sunday night, to cover the 2 data collection periods. It is essential to follow these diets precisely down to the gram for the accuracy of the research. If you consume anything outside of the plan, you must document it. The dietitian will provide detailed instructions on how to follow the diet throughout the study. Make sure to plan ahead and flag any concerns before data collection begins. Just to note, the diets provided are for research purposes, meaning your macronutrient needs and being logistically feasible, but they are not intended for everyday consumption. Lastly, we will organise a final weigh-in the week before data collection begins to ensure the diets are accurately standardised. This will likely be completed at your swimming club around your scheduled training. If you do have any concerns or questions around the dietary standardisation, please don't hesitate to contact Louise Cato or myself. I will provide you with our details at the end of this session. Here on the screen is just a bit of an example of what the standardized diet may look like and what to expect. So it will go through an outline for each day of the study that you will need to consume a standardized diet and what you will need to consume for each meal with the weight or serving, and then any changes that you may have made, which you can provide in that final column there. If you are interested in participating in this research, you need to meet the following inclusion criteria. You either need to be an elite or sub-elite male or female swimmer, aged 15 to 35 years, fluent in English so you can read all the questionnaires, free of cardiorespiratory, metabolic, and menstrual disorders. You need to be a non-smoker. You shouldn't be currently taking any medication, with some exceptions, and these are basically oral iron supplements, commonly used by athletes, hormonal contraceptives, and asthma medication. You should not be or suspect you are anemic. So anemia is a condition diagnosed by a doctor when you don't have enough red blood cells in the body. It's generally if you have a hemoglobin concentration less than 120 grams per litre and a serum ferritin level, which is the stored form of iron, of less than 12 micrograms per litre based on your most recent blood test. If you have anemia, your doctor would have informed you and likely prescribed iron supplements to treat it. So here on the screen is what the swimming session protocol or the data collection protocol will look like. So we've set up 3 different weekends throughout this data collection period from the 27th of July to the 11th of August. All the data collection will take place at the Victorian Institute of Sport Recovery Pool, which is in Albert Park. And what you will need to do is complete 2 standardized swimming sessions and 1 non-exercise session. So based on the information that you all provided in your expression of interest form, we have determined that these 3 weekends are the most suitable for the majority. What we are hoping is that every participant will complete that middle session, so Saturday the 3rd of August to Monday the 5th of August, where you'll complete a 7x200 metre step test on the Saturday and then complete the rest condition on the Sunday. So for Saturday, Sunday, Monday, you will be expected to arrive at the VIS at 5:30 a.m. You'll then do your session, whether that's the step test or the rest condition. You'll then have a sample immediately after. And then you have an 8-hour block roughly where you can either stay at the VIS or you can go and come back, whatever you decide. And then at 4 p.m. we'll collect an 8-hour blood sample, and then the next day following the session will be the 22-hour sample, which can be seen on the screen. So that's that middle weekend. Then it is your choice whether you complete the other step test on the weekend of Saturday the 27th of July or Saturday the 10th of August. And this is completely up to you. Just have to let us know which weekend works best for you, and we will organise and schedule that in. If there are any issues with the dates on the screen, please get in contact with me ASAP and we can try and work out an alternative option. But based on our availability and your availability, these are the weekends that we have come up with. If you're interested in participating in this study, you need to go online and provide what's known as informed consent. Informed consent means you understand all the study protocols, the potential risks and benefits of participating, and how your data will be handled. Before agreeing to participate, you must read the participant information consent form, which we'll share with you via a hyperlink. If you're under 18 years old, please read the information with your parents, as you cannot provide consent on your own. If you are over 18, you can review all the information independently and make your own decision. If you have any questions, please contact one of the researchers and we will gladly explain the protocols in more detail. Additionally, for the health screening protocol and the low energy availability questionnaire, if you're under 18 years old, you must complete these alongside a parent. So what are the benefits of participating in this research? There are several personal benefits. Firstly, you will receive some basic information about your current dietary habits from a sports dietitian. Additionally, you have the option to receive more in-depth nutrition feedback from a sports dietitian at a discounted rate of $70 per consultation, usually valued at around $180 per consult, though this is optional. You will undergo 2 free 7x200 metre step tests and receive a report on these results, allowing you to track changes in your blood lactate profile during progressive exercise, and this is similar to the tests we conduct in elite athletes. You will also receive an individualized report detailing your metabolomic response to exercise. And furthermore, due to the weekend data collection involving multiple follow-up blood samples, you will receive a voucher for Village cinema tickets which you can use during the intervals between samples. There are also some societal benefits, and these include an enhanced understanding of acute metabolic changes in response to high-intensity swimming sessions, and this will help advance technology and establish more precise athlete monitoring methods in swimming. Now, there are some risks associated with participation, primarily around blood sampling. So some individuals may experience queasiness or fainting due to seeing blood or experiencing a small finger prick. It is important to note that we use retractable lancets for finger pricking, minimizing visibility of the needle. Blood collection is minimal, and our trained sports scientists follow first aid protocols. There is a small risk of bruising at the puncture site, similar to when blood lactate is taken from the ear or when you have a blood test at the doctor's. And there is also a minimal risk of blood-borne infection inherent in any blood sampling procedures. However, we mitigate these risks by ensuring all necessary protective measures and trained personnel are in place. Finally, here's some information about your data. Your data will be securely stored, including information about your identity, diet, and health. It will be stored in a secure, password-protected online environment accessible only to the researchers. We do not share your details with anyone else. They are strictly for research purposes and for the eyes of the researchers only. When presenting the study's data upon completion, none of your unique information will be disclosed. We will only present aggregated group-based results, ensuring no individual swimmer can be identified. All biological specimens collected throughout the research project, including blood samples, will be destroyed after testing and analysis. We do not retain these samples for record-keeping purposes, preventing replication. If at any time you wish to have any of your electronic data destroyed, you can contact us and we will do so promptly upon your request. So if you're still interested and ready to participate in this research study, thank you very much. And here's what you need to do next. If you're ready to participate, simply complete the forms by scanning the QR code on the screen or clicking on the provided link. Please note, if you're under 18 years old, it's important that your parents read the consent form, sign on your behalf, and also involve you in the process. If you are 18 or older, you can provide consent independently. If you have any questions at any point, please feel free to contact one of the researchers, including myself. I'll provide you with our contact details shortly. Any questions about the dietary standardization, that process, and how that's going to be managed, they should be directed to Louise Cato, who's our dietitian. So her contact details are there on the screen. You can either contact her via email or by calling or messaging her. If you need to contact one of the research team about what's going on here, then you can contact either myself, which is Lane Heidenreich, and I'm the PhD student who will be leading and managing the project, and my contact details are on the screen. You can also contact Dr. Andrew Govis, who is my principal supervisor, and he will be helping lead the research, and his contact details are there as well. You can also contact Lachlan Mitchell, who is our VIS physiologist on the project. And again, his contact details are on the screen. And finally, we have some additional research support from Dr. Haresh Supia, and his details are there on the screen. Finally, thank you very much for your attention. I know that was a lot of information to take in. So please get in contact if you're interested or if you have any questions, and we look forward to having you on board for this research study.